Hey Gearheads, and welcome to GT Garage Talk, a discussion about all things automotive. We're back. It's been a minute, and my sincerest of apologies. We were on the road last month when this episode was supposed to come out, traveling the second half of historic Route 66. If you have been following the YouTube channel, you know that last year we did LA, or Anaheim more specifically, to Amarillo. So no, we did not start at the official end. Yes, we did it backwards, and at Santa Monica Pier. But yes, we did Route 66 from California to Texas, stopped essentially at the midway point last year, and we were in a rented Chrysler Pacifica. It was the Touring L model. It was nice. We saw some fun things along the way. Definitely different scenery than these East Texans are used to. This year, Chrysler gave us a minivan and gave us their Pinnacle trim with the e-hybrid powertrain, and this thing was absolutely amazing. And huge thanks to Chrysler for hooking us up with that one. Full details can be found on our YouTube channel and on our website if you want to know more about the vehicle in particular. But this podcast is a bit unique because it has also been uploaded to YouTube almost exactly as it is here. You're just getting the audio side of it. Was recorded in the vehicle on the way home from Chicago after completing Route 66. So in this, Holly and I are driving home, discussing some of our favorite things from both the eastern side of the Route 66 road trip and Route 66 in its totality. So something a little different for you today. We've got another one coming out later this month with good friend Anthony from Anthony on Autos. We will be getting back to our regular cadence for August, September, October throughout the end of the year. We've got some fun interviews coming up. It's just, yes, this road trip to Chicago via Route 66 changed things just a bit, but yeah, let's jump right into it. All right, Gearheads, so what are we doing here? Well, just like last year, we're highlighting all of the fun stops for families on the Mother Road. And as we ended last year here in Amarillo, we figured it was a natural starting place to pick up the second half, the eastward side of the trip. Yes, this time we're traveling all the way to Chicago, but we're starting here in Amarillo, Texas, because they're doing this awesome street festival to show off historic Route 66 and to allow you to get to walk down the whole thing. There are vendors all the way around. It is so much fun. They're preparing for the 100-year anniversary of the Mother Road. That is coming very soon. I believe just in 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. But there's so much to do here. And this is only the first stop on our trip. We've got all the way to Chicago to go. And this year we are in an upgraded ride from last year. This year we're in a 2023 Chrysler Pacifica e-hybrid with the Pinnacle trim. So we are riding in luxury, and we have a full family review of that vehicle on the channel, so go check that out as well. But the story of this is exactly what that Pinnacle e-hybrid can do, what you can do in it, where you can go, what kind of sights you can see, because as we got that one, over 500 miles of range between the all-electric hybrid side of it and the fuel tank. So we really have seen a lot of efficiency in it so far. We can't wait to take you down the rest of Route 66. All right, Gearheads, we are in the vehicle now. We are long past Amarillo. Since seeing all of Route 66, it's been in our rearview mirror, and we're going to do a little bit of a recap for you here. One, what this Chrysler Pacifica e-hybrid has been like. Two, what Route 66 has been like on this trip. And now that we've continued and completed essentially the whole thing, what our favorite stops along the whole route are. And I've got a surprise question for you at the end that I haven't even prepped you for. So, first question, obvious one. Chrysler gave us this Pacifica e-hybrid for this trip. Why a minivan?
Because it is the best road trip vehicle there is.
On YouTube, I put a poll out there. What is your favorite road trip vehicle? And the SUV just destroyed the other two. The minivan coming in dead last.
But I want to know, what are the qualifications of these people who are voting? Because there is like, oh, we're going to road trip 3 hours away, pop over here for our weekend trip. And then there's Route 66 road tripping, which is serious road tripping. So you need a minivan for a road trip.
So funny thing is, we've talked to some people along Route 66 on this trip, and we told them what we're doing, and they're like, oh, so are you in an RV? Because we told them how long they'd be gone. We're like, no, we're in a minivan. So there you go. That is why minivans are so great for a road trip like this. More fuel efficient than an RV, and we can cram just as much stuff back there as if we were in a Chevy Tahoe. Like, so much space in this
More stuff than a Tahoe, and easier to get to.
Yes, much lower. And then, again, talking why minivan, we've got a 5-year-old, we've got your mother with us. The sliding doors, popping in and out of downtown, being able to load and unload. Tucker can get in and out of this. So minivans, absolutely best long haul road trip rig. This is the second time we've done it. Huge thanks to Chrysler for giving us this one for the second half of our road trip. And then that brings us to why e-hybrid. So first half, we were in the non-hybrid version, which had the same gas engine under the hood, but no hybrid system. This one, we've done over 470 miles on pure electricity alone. You can plug this one up and charge it, but we're getting nearly a 30 mpg in this vehicle. And this thing probably is happiest in city commuting because it can go longer on electricity than it can on a highway jaunt like this, but very good commuter vehicle overall.
Yeah, for sure. And if you know how to plug at your house, you wouldn't be using very much gas at all.
Which brings us to trying to plug this thing in along the route. First stop in Amarillo, did find a 110 plug outside of our hotel. Huge thanks to Electron for sponsoring us and sending us a portable charger to charge this thing. Chrysler did also supply us with one with a little handy case and a storage spot back there in the back. But if you want to know about Electron, link down in the description below for what they supplied us with on this one, because it was a convertible. It would allow us, if we could have stopped at an RV park and plugged in there because it has 240 and 110. Now would be a good time to talk about our sponsor for this video, and that is Electron EV Chargers. They did supply us with this 110 240 convertible unit here that comes with a NEMA 1450 plug that you can see plugs in to the adapter base right here. It also comes with a 110 household style plug, so you can charge it at home or wherever you are on the go, and you don't have to worry about what kind of plug situation you're moving into. You can learn more about them and all the different products they have supplied us with for testing and that they offer for your electric vehicle by visiting the link down in the description below. Any purchase helps our channel. We thank you a whole lot.
But it was nice to not have to do
Exactly, which is why we love plug-in hybrids. It's the best of both worlds. Over 30 miles of all-electric range when you want it, and then gas when you need it. So over 500 miles on gas range alone in this thing. So heading from East Texas to Amarillo to start this trip, we needed to potty before the vehicle needed fuel.
Yes.
So very, very impressive there. All right, why Route 66?
Well, because we're crazy people.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that the Route 66 plan came up last year because we were going to California.
Mhm.
It was going to be absolutely ridiculous to fly.
Yep.
So we decided to drive, and I realized we would be going along Route 66 at some point.
Yep.
And then, in doing that kind of research, I found out that it's the 100-year anniversary in 2024 of
Yeah.
Route 66.
2026.
2026.
There
Yeah,
we go.
you're right. 2026. It'll be the 100-year anniversary of Route 66. So I was like, since we're making a road trip to California anyways, let's do it. That's the Great American Road Trip bucket list item, right?
Not only for Americans, but as we've been on this trip, foreigners. We've seen Australians, we've seen Kiwis, those are New Zealanders, I believe. We've met people from all over Europe. So this is like a worldwide bucket list road trip.
Well,
that
babe,
we've-
it's not called the Great American Road Trip just because Americans take it.
It's true.
It's if you come and visit and do the road trip, that's
Yes.
the road trip.
Yes. So, yes, last year we started off kind of out of necessity, but also we wanted to show Tucker all the places that inspired his favorite movie, Cars. There, a majority of them were on the western half.
And I will say one thing about that, if you are doing a Cars stop along Route 66, first of all, go check out our videos
Yes.
of the places that you can see it. But I was really surprised at how obvious the
Mhm.
places were.
Mhm.
Like, even last year, when he was just barely 4 on the trip, could recognize all of the places.
Yeah, he knew exactly where everything was. So there were more Cars themed stops in the western half, but this video we're going to focus a little more on the eastern half. There's less here, but that's not to say that there weren't things. We saw the Rock Cafe, owned by the real life inspiration for Sally.
We saw the visitor center where a local volunteer works at the visitor
Mhm.
center who was the
inspiration
for
Tomater.
Tomater. Totater is
Yes.
the original
Yeah.
truck at that visitor center, but
So-
there's also a guy there.
Yep. So various stuff here on the eastern half, which brings me to, okay, we did western half last year. We're finishing it out this year. What have been your favorite eastern half memories?
The Boots Court
Yes.
was one.
So we stayed at a recently refurbished motor court, the Boots Court in Carthage.
In Carthage.
Yeah.
Clark Gable stayed there twice.
Not once, but twice. We were able to charge up there, plug in inside our room.
Yes.
So we could charge up there.
And I will say one of the reasons I'm glad we stayed at a motor coach on this trip. We did on the last trip. We did here. It is a little nerve-wracking
Trying
to decide online what motor coaches, motor court motels have been refurbished and aren't scary, because there are parts of Route 66 that are the older parts of town.
Yeah.
But this one was a perfect stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely would recommend it. And Carthage was fun. There was that pancake house right beside
Yeah.
Boots Court. They're redoing a visitor center right there for Boots Court Motel.
A lot of stuff going on in Carthage.
There's a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Any other memorable east side?
Well, we kicked it off in Amarillo
Yes.
at the Texas Route 66 Festival. And I didn't know this until recently, but a lot of people skip Texas
How? I'm looking
You
at
just, like,
the map.
go
I'm like, how and why?
to Oklahoma, but and skip it. If you're traveling along Route 66,
Yeah.
then you won't skip it. It goes
Yeah.
right through Texas. We kicked it off with the festival in Amarillo,
Yep.
and then
Headed east.
headed east.
And that's where we learned that Oklahoma has the most miles of any state on Route 66. And the state immediately following, Kansas, has the least.
The least, 13 miles.
13 miles. Just a little in the corner. Yeah. So.
But we saw some really great things in Kansas. That's where the Toe-tater is.
Yeah. And okay, so let's talk about signage. The eastern side has done very well with signage along the route, along the roads.
Way better than the western side.
Yes, and we have learned, this may be recent, but Apple Maps has started putting sorta kinda Route 66 on the map, but you can't navigate by it. You kind of have to find your own way around it, but that helped on our trip. We're using Waze now.
If you could find it, because it sometimes disappears.
But yes, Oklahoma did really well with signage. Kansas did great with their 13
miles. They had it painted on the road every few steps and signage along the way.
And then Missouri, I will say, okay, my award for best city signage goes to Springfield, Missouri. They're downtown. They had them on all the street posts, little banner flags down all the street posts. Just absolutely could not ignore the fact that you are on Route 66.
Not at all.
Springfield, Missouri. You knew where you were.
And one of our other favorite stops was just before you get to Springfield, Missouri, in Ash Grove. There's a little Sinclair gas station stop, an old gas station stop, but they have a gift shop where I got my hat. You get to meet the owner, and it was so much fun. They had the dinosaur that was
Sinclair dinosaur.
The Sinclair dinosaur, which was the inspiration behind Dinoco in Cars. So that was a huge stop. But yes, Springfield, Missouri, I think was probably the most surprising city that we went through that I wasn't really expecting a lot. But they have a Steak and Shake that is on the National Register of Historic Places, and it was really neat to look at. And a Best Western it's a Best Western now, but it was a motor court hotel that Elvis stayed at twice.
Yes, and they have a whole Elvis themed room.
They have a whole Elvis themed room. You can sleep in a Cadillac.
And some Burma Shave signage on the outside, so that was fun as well. Yeah, Springfield, Missouri, would definitely go back, spend some time there. That was very fun. And then another Springfield was very high on my list, Springfield, Illinois, which is the state capital, but also the home of Lincoln before he became president. There's his presidential library and museum. We spent some time there, learned a lot about Lincoln, saw him walking down the street.
Even saw him walking down the street.
He left his house for a stroll. So, yeah, so much fun there in Springfield, Illinois, and Missouri. So,
yes.
Springfield's, you did a good job.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. What are some other memorable highlights for you on Eastern Half before we start talking full route?
Yeah, full route. Well, of course, making it to the start.
Yes.
In downtown Chicago.
We made it. The beginning. We're actually here. Whoop, whoop.
And also Lou Mitchell's.
Oh, my goodness.
So...
The donuts.
The donuts at Lou Mitchell's were the best.
On point. So yes, we've eaten so many good meals on this trip. I've gained so many pounds. I am starting a running regimen when we get back to East Texas. Need to get back to it. So much good food.
St. Louis was fun.
Yes.
We didn't talk about St. Louis.
Tucker and I saw a ball game there. We saw a ball game all together at Wrigley in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
we saw the Arch.
Yeah. So even
we ate at the Donut Drive-In.
Oh my gosh. So even though some of these things weren't directly on the route, part of Route 66 was the fact that it was the mother road taking people from Chicago to California that got to experience these cities and the culture within these cities.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, not everything is directly on Route 66 in all of these places, but there are such fun places to stop that you would be crazy not to. So yeah, a couple of ball games, the Arch, the Donut Drive-In, Ted Drew's.
Ted Drew's.
Ted Drew's was really good too. So yes, so much fun. on this eastern portion has put some places on the map for me to definitely come back to. Maybe a dedicated trip just there, because this trip has been a lot. It's been 2 separate legs going the, 3,000 miles down all of Route 66.
Mm-hmm.
What are some memories that you will take with you forever on Route 66? The whole shebang.
The whole shebang?
Yeah.
Well, let's just go tippy top is Tucker's reaction to all of the car stuff.
Yes.
That is top, best.
We're going through Radiator
memory.
Springs.
Yes.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Going through the mountains. It looks like we're in scenes. Look in front of you.
I see it. What is it?
A mountain.
I love that. Followed by, I think, all of our favorite, Oatman, Arizona.
Oatman, yes.
And the subsequent drive out of Oatman, the curving roads.
To and out,
Like,
Oatman.
I turned on the car soundtrack
Now,
when we were driving through there.
for the people, that's in Arizona.
Yes.
Oatman, Arizona. And if you do the Route 66 road trip, it may seem like a little blip that you could just drive through, spend more time there, playing more time in Oatman.
Wild donkeys, just out
But
and about in the town.
I will say, so let's talk about some of the challenges of Route 66.
Okay.
Because it is not a relaxing
No. It's not a continuous
vacation
highway.
experience. There's not. So here are some challenges. Is there's not one place to find just the whole Route 66 and all of the attractions. You have to realize that it spans across several states, which means several states' legislatures.
Mm-hmm.
And the signage is not all the same because it's not. Maybe it will be better. I know they're putting some money into improving things for the 100-year anniversary.
Well, even the signage, there were multiple sections that it changed 10 years after it opened. So
Yes.
there's this historic section and this newer section, but like
By dates, you could travel the old one, or the older one,
Yeah.
or the new one. But, so it takes a lot of research. You're welcome. You're never going to have enough time at any of the locations. But and one thing that we did, if you're going to do Route 66, you got to be flexible.
Yes.
You got to come with your patience.
Yes.
And one thing that we did, which makes a lot of people uncomfortable, is we didn't book our hotels till we were on the road.
Yeah. Especially some of these historic Boots Court, for instance.
Boots Courts, yeah. So if there's a place that you really want to stay, sometimes they book up really fast. So you got to get in there. Like Blue Swallow Motel.
Yeah.
That was another great one we stayed at on the other side. They could book up 6 months in advance. So if you will definitely want to stay there, and it is an awesome place to stay.
Yeah.
But we didn't book it 6 months in advance. We just got lucky.
Yes.
So you have to be flexible on what you stay, especially on the Western trip, because we were
In the desert.
well, we were traveling during spring break too.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So we were going to try to find a place around the Grand Canyon to stay, and everything was booked up.
Yeah.
So we had to go a little bit further and find a different place to
But we
stay.
found
So
Flagstaff, which
we love Flagstaff.
Oh my goodness, Namarco's Pizza, you are so delicious.
You are so delicious, Namarco's Pizza. We
Not
love
sponsored, but so good. But yes, such a fun trip, all told. Memories that we will all cherish for our entire life. We will link, if you're watching this on YouTube, I believe up there, the first half of our road trip. We could go on and on about the entire Route 66. There's so much to see. Like you said, there wasn't enough time. And pre-booking stuff also meant we're like, okay, well, we really had to power it out through this section and just kind of pop in and see places. So, yeah, I don't think you'll ever have enough time. We could do it again, but like you said, it wasn't stress-free. It wasn't like getting on the interstate and just going.
Just driving. It's not a regular road trip. No. The road trip is the destination.
Yes. All right, Holly, so surprise question at the very end. I did not prep you for this. Would you do it again?
I think doing Route 66 all the way across is a one and done for me.
Yeah.
But I did take on the burden of planning the whole thing. So.
And we all appreciate it.
I'm gonna need a beach vacation after this, where I show up and I raise a little flag, and somebody brings me food and drinks. That's what I'm gonna need. But there are definitely locations along the route that I want to go back and visit.
Yeah,
100%.
And again, huge thanks to Chrysler for giving us this Pacifica for this trip. Worked out so well for us, especially in city environments. Getting in and out, traveling with the kiddo made it so much easier than an SUV. So much room back there. So huge kudos on that. Let us know where we should go next summer down in the comments. Is this a summer tradition? The GT summer road trip?
No, it's not.
not Route 66. We could go someplace with a beach and a flag. And
no.
I'll do all the driving.
And a flag.
So, yeah, there you go. And there you have it, our fun excursion as a family with Tucker in the back seat, my mother-in-law riding with us in the 2023 Chrysler Pacifica e-hybrid Pinnacle. Very luxurious minivan. Got to see tons of the country. Yes, the eastern side felt a little more like we were just driving around East Texas than it did a different world, like it was heading west, going through the desert, seeing everything out west. So definitely different scenery in the eastern half of Route 66, but still tons of fun stuff. I felt like we stuck to Route 66 more. There, I can talk. On the eastern half than we did the western half. It was a little easier to follow. Oklahoma did a great job with signage. Kansas, with their 13 miles, did a great job with signage. And there were definitely some fun things along the way. Should you do this road trip? Yes. Should you plan way more time than we did? Yes. Should you be loosey-goosey with your schedule? Yes, absolutely. If you want to stay in some of the historic places, absolutely do your research ahead of time, though, because those places do book up. That is kind of the one downside. We're telling you to be loose and flexible with your schedule, but also telling you got to nail down some of these historic overnight stays well in advance ahead of time. But there's so much to see, so much to do, so many fun small towns along the way. And just like the original Disney Pixar movie Cars, a lot of good stories to be told from these small towns and the folks that are within them. And you can actually meet some of the people that inspired the characters in that movie all along the way. So all around, a very fun trip. Again, huge thanks to Chrysler for giving us our vehicle for this trip on the second half. And thanks to you for coming along, riding along, and listening with us. As always, go find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, the new Threads app, everything at GT Garage Talk, or head over to gtgaragetalk.com. Until next time, gearheads, bye.